Hi guys, it's Princessu here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. A friend of mine wanted to do a mean max video for Graveyard Keeper, and he's asked me to host it, so I'm very grateful for that, and I think it's an awesome idea. Please leave this video a like to support him, and hopefully one day he can have his own channel. Thank you for the support and enjoy. I will be uploading a casual playthrough of Graveyard Keeper sometime in the future, so stay tuned for that as well.
Hey there, so this is going to be an optimal playthrough of the game Graveyard Keeper. Now, in this playthrough I'll try to do as much as I can to complete the game as fast as possible in terms of in-game days. And particularly for week 1, the goals are to open the church on the first week, get industry started, and do as much farming as possible so we have as much energy as we need to throughout this run. So not everything is done perfectly, there are a few things that can be improved, which is good because if you want to try this on your own, then this playthrough can inspire you and you can possibly do a few things even better than in this playthrough. So let's get started. Okay, so to start with, the first thing we do is we go and activate the farm plot, so to speak. And we need this now to save time so that when we go to the innkeeper, to the tavern rather, we can claim the land straight away. So that's why we're going down here before we go to where the arrow is pointing us to. Okay, so here I'm not talking because it's just the main story that we're forced to do at the start of the game. Okay, so we've taken the corpse to the graveyard and we bury it as we need to do. So we create a grave site, then we pick up the body and we dig the grave site and we bury the body. Okay, so here is the first optimization part of the run. So we don't talk to the bishop yet. We go to this trunk and we grab our tools because we'll need them later. Because if we talk to the bishop, the game is going to start. You know, the time is going to start running. So first we examine that sign on the left there for the vineyard so that later we can get the vineyard when we talk to the Inquisitor. Here we prepare some of the gravestones ready for fixing. You don't need to do this, but this saves you a bit of time, so you don't need to select these things later, but it's just seconds, it's not too important. And now we ignore the bishop, so the time doesn't start, and we go to the village to do a few things. Now this is optional, you don't have to do this, but this does save a few minutes if you're interested in that later. So instead you could talk to the bishop, you can start the time running, and you need to go to the village straight away anyway afterwards, so that's where we're going now. So the steps we're doing now you could do after talking to the bishop, but this way you save a few minutes because the time isn't running yet. So we're going to do a few things. First of all, we're going to talk to the Tavern Owner, which we need to do anyway. Okay, here I'm actually going to talk to the miller. Again, I don't think you need to do this, but I just wanted to talk to him in case I don't talk to him for a few days. I wanted to start his dialogue so that his trading starts going. I don't know if that actually makes a difference, but just in case it does, I'm doing it anyway. I don't know the inside out of this game, but this should be a pretty optimal playthrough regardless. So anyway, so we're heading to the village now. We're going to talk to the Tavern Owner, which are things you will need to do anyway, but again, like this, we save time. You'll see how. Right, we also talk to Miss Jane here, again, to get the dialogue out of the way for later, but you don't need to do this. Time doesn't actually run in dialogues like this, as far as I'm aware, so it's not too important. So we're just going to exhaust all the dialogue options. Okay, so now we unlocked the garden, which is why we needed to have talked to that plot, the very first thing we did in the game, so we could unlock the garden like we did. Alright, so now we're just selling the burial certificate for money. This is what you're supposed to do with these things. Alright, and next we're going to go to the blacksmith to do the Horadric's quest that he gave us. But we won't be able to complete all of it yet. Okay. Yeah, just putting that in the inventory. Next, I'm trying to sharpen the sword like we need to do, but the game just doesn't let us yet because we haven't yet talked to the bishop, so a lot of things haven't technically started. So I'll leave the sword there and we'll come back to it later as we were supposed to do anyway. Okay, so here I just talked to Dig to get him out the way, his dialogue option. And now we're going to the lighthouse. The main reason why we're going to the lighthouse now is because in a few minutes when we get the teleport stone, this area will already be unlocked. So we can teleport here straight away whenever we want to. And I'll just talk to the fisherman. Okay, so now there are two things that we have left to do here. The first one is I want to go talk to the Baron or whatever he's called north of the village. I don't think you need to do this, but I like doing it so that I don't forget his quest later on, because then I can look at the known NPC screen in the little menu and it shows it there. So that's where we're going first. Again, you don't need to do this. The second thing is we're going to go buy peat, which we're going to use for farming straight away. Right, that's all, and now we're going to go buy the peat. Okay, so I actually buy all 30 of it because it will come in useful later. If you wanted to optimize this run even further, you could calculate more precisely exactly what you're going to need. But I just like buying 30 of them, so that's what I do here. Then for a second here, I was thinking, should I go to the farmer now and buy seeds straight away? But I thought, no, I'll do it in a minute when I have even more money from selling the sword. Okay, and now we're going back to actually start the game and start time rolling. And as I said, you don't have to go to the village and do these things now like we did, like going to the barn and getting the peat. But again, it saved a bit of time, so that's why I did it. And when I say it saves time, it's because in this playthrough we're going through in-game time, not real-life time. Okay, so now we're just checking the trunk because the game gives us an arrow there until we do it. We don't have to, but we do anyway. And what you saw there for a split second when I paused is sometimes in this playthrough I was pausing to think of what I should do next, but I just edited that out so that, you know, there aren't a few seconds of in the screen doing nothing. So now we've started the actual story, and straight away we're going back to the tavern. We've already done all of these things, so we won't see some of the dialogue. So yeah. Alright, we're going back to the blacksmith to continue that quest. Here I try to gather berries from this bush, but we haven't unlocked that ability yet. It comes in a few minutes. Okay, so now we can sharpen the sword, and we kill the slimes behind this house. Now I'm trying to get them together so I can attack them both at the same time and save on some energy. And here I managed to do it. I used 3 swings only, but I also lose 20 health, which isn't a big deal. Death doesn't seem to have a negative effect in this game, so, you know, it's not a problem. So we finish the blacksmith's quest and we go back to the tavern to hand it in and get our free beer. Now what I should have done here, if you want to optimize further, is I should have broken the barrels first, but I'll do that in just a second instead. Okay, so we get the beer. The first 2 barrels are here. I exit by accident, but I go straight back in to start getting the barrels. There are 6 barrels we can get, and they have some nice materials in there. You might get simple parts like we did here, so that's quite useful. Okay, yeah, the second barrel is 2 houses to the right from the tavern, and that's this one over here. So you attack them twice with your sword, and that's why we don't sell the sword straight away. First we get the barrels, and then we can sell the sword. The other 2 barrels are here under the tavern. And then here is the last barrel, this one here. So we got 2 simple iron parts, which is quite good. It always helps. If you get lucky, you can optimize some things later, which we look at. We actually, okay, here we sell the sword. for an extra 375. So it takes me a few seconds until I can figure out how to unequip this thing. I think you have to double click it or something, I'm not sure. But right click or single click doesn't seem to work. So anyway, so it's unequipped now and we sell it for 375. And then we're going to go to the tavern to buy the teleport stone. So that's a big help straight away, and it can save us a lot of time going to places. It only has a 30-second cooldown, so you can basically teleport very often wherever you want. Alright, so we buy the teleport stone. Great, and now we're going to the farmer to get seeds straight away so we can start farming. Because one of our goals for this kind of run is to have as much energy as we can all the time, so we don't need to waste time sleeping or have any downtime. So we go here and we buy as many carrot seeds as we can afford right away. So I'll just use a slider until I can buy as many seeds as I can. Okay, and we buy that. And then straight away we just teleport back home to save some time. Here I do a safety save in case I need to load from here, because one of the good things... Okay, so here we're sleeping again because we're saving, we might exit the game and come back again later if things don't go well. But if we see a cutscene, if we're supposed to see a cutscene and we come back into the game, then we won't see the cutscene. So that's why I'm saving after we've seen the cutscene, so that if we come back into the game, it's already happened. It's not going to be missed. And the next thing that we want to do right away is start farming so that we can keep getting energy. So we claim the land, and here I make a lot of farm beds. We're not actually going to use that many right away, but I just put them down because it's free and because I will eventually create them. So straight away we start building them, and we're going to use our peat as fertilizer. What peat does is it makes the crops grow faster and it increases the seed return of the crops. And then we're going to plant all the carrot seeds we have. And we need food for a few reasons. So we're going to cook these carrots later. One of the big reasons is for energy. And then we also need carrots specifically for the donkey later, and also for the refugee camp. Right, for the refugee camp we need energy rather, which carrots will provide after we cook them. Okay, so here we just continued with the main story, and I'm looking at the skill tree here because we're going to go gathering in a minute, and we're going to get honey, and I wanted to get the skill beekeeping, but we don't have enough green points yet. So we go gathering here. We haven't fully started gathering yet. We're gonna do a small trip now, and we want to gather berries in particular are pretty good. They give you energy at this point of the game. They're the best thing we can have right now. So we gather berries. We also gather mushrooms because we're going to be able to cook mushrooms. You can also eat them raw for energy, but they don't give us much energy, so we want to cook them. We go up here to gather some more mushrooms. And as we go, we're also going to be gathering some random stone and like wood and things like that, because we will need it for the things we're going to make. We're also gathering flowers, particularly red flowers, because we need 10 of them to make the flower beds for the graveyard, which is, it's going to help us rebuild the graveyard. And we're also gathering some flowers other than red flowers, but we don't need those as much. They give us some additional energy, but not a lot, because it takes energy to gather them as well. Okay, here we have the green points we need now, because we did that boost that gives us 5 green points. Those are very good. I like to do them whenever I found them. And we get the beekeeping skill, which gives us a chance to gain bee wax when we harvest honey, like we're doing here. This is a honey tree. Now, when we harvest honey, we take 15 damage, but it doesn't really matter, because in this game, death doesn't really have a penalty. It just teleports you back home with the stuff you're carrying. So it doesn't really matter. We gather honey with no issues. So this whole time we've been gathering random stone, a bit of wood. Berries are the things we want. Honey is also good. We need 10 flowers, 10 red flowers that is. And you'll see me, I don't get as many flowers of the other colors because they don't give you as much energy back for the time. Now, another thing I always do, or if I remember, we want to teleport back home now. So I pick up a log and I teleport with the log because that's quite efficient. You have a log in your hand, you teleport home and you put it down. I think it's quite a lot more efficient than going out of your way to gather logs and then you're taking multiple trips to bring them all back. So I forget sometimes, but when I'm about to teleport, I like getting a log and teleporting with that. So here, anything other than the red flowers, we can just eat for energy. So that's why I'm putting them on the bar here. And finally, we're gonna do a safety save because I do those often in case something goes wrong and we can reload. And actually, I did reload here. Okay, then straight away, we want to go talk to Jerry. Actually, I don't think this is necessary, but I'm just doing it here to continue the main story. I should probably have gathered those mushrooms as well. Alright, so now we haven't grown any crops yet, or at least they need a few days until we can harvest them, and we're going to need energy a lot in this game. So that's why we're just continuing with the gathering. And again, these green boosts are really good because they give us 5 green points, and we're going to need green points a lot throughout the round. So if you come across some, feel free to get them. And now we're also on to the next day. We're on Charms Day today, so it's not necessary to go get her quest, but we're going to go anyway since we're on our way to the tavern, to the village. And also it's nice because we're going to get a perk that allows us to get stories whenever we complete quests and things like that. So again, that's not necessary, but it's nice to have. You might as well get it. You could even teleport to the tavern just for that and then come back here. But we're taking the gathering route. We're going up above the wheat farm, getting the berries, getting some random stone and wood, maybe getting some random flowers as well. And here is a honey tree, north in a minute, so we're getting that too. Here we've already been running out of energy, so we're eating berries and flowers as we go to replenish it, because gathering itself takes energy. Okay, and here is another honey tree. Alright, and now we're going to the tavern to start Mist's Arms quest.
Voilà, croissant. Tomberge. Voilà, piranha. Voilà.
Baru, Ravaju, Mara. Ravaju, Baru, Uruma. Ravaju, Oro. Ravaju, Baru. Oro, Mara, Oro. Uruma. Baru, Ravaju, Uruma, Baru. Oro, Uruma. Baru, Uruma, Oro. Ravaju, Mara.
Okay, so there are some more berry boosts here, so we go get those. One of the things I could have done better in this run, I think, is harvested a few more flowers, because I am actually short on energy for a little bit. So yeah, if you wanted to optimize further, maybe you could gather a few more flowers if you're doing this yourself. Now we're going this way to get these green points and also to go to the lighthouse so we can harvest some apples and things like that. So the apples you can also cook. And at this point of the game, anything that gives you more energy is good. You can also eat them raw, but I do try to avoid that because cooking them will give you more energy back. We also cut down the stumps here because they're going to grow into apple trees, which is good, it means more apples for us. And harvest the mushrooms because again we can cook those. Two more stumps to cut down that are going to grow into apple trees. Okay, and here there are some green points to farm, 3 in total. So here is one of them. Here is another. And here is the last one. And actually up at the top there, on top left, next to this berry boost, there is another one. Okay, and then we're done here for now. So hopefully, if I remember, I pick up a log before I teleport home. Now there are some more berry bushes and things around, but they're quite out of the way, so I'm not sure they're worth getting, so I'll just go home instead. And I think the next thing to do... Okay, yes, so we get this cutscene out of the way. Okay, so we want to get this cutscene out of the way because we want to do a safety save so we can reload if we need to. Particularly, it's the barrels. If we break the barrels, we can get some good stuff that can really help us if we get lucky. So we want to save before we break the barrels, in case we need to reload. So instead we get everything else down here, so we don't have to do that every time. We find the recipe in the trunk that we use, so we learn now how to make baked mushrooms. And this is the food chest. So we're putting all food related things that we're not gonna take with us so we can eat it for energy. We put all of that there, and now we do the safety save. Now we don't actually go downstairs yet because we don't need those components yet. We'll come back later. Instead, we now start our production. So first of all, we get rid of a few bushes here and there that are blocking up our base. And then what we want to do is we want to build the sawhorse and the thing for chopping the wood. So we also need to get those skills. And also, we need to collect wood and stone anyway, so I just went out there, got this log and brought it back. Okay, yeah, so now we get the required skills for the machines we need to build. So that's sawing and firewood. And now we build them. So we can build the sawhorse straight away. And to build the other one, we need some wood that we need to get from this machine. So I think we needed 5 billets or something, I didn't check. Yeah. So we just build those and then we build the other one. I also have turned this to face to the right so that it's accessible more easily, because you might fill up the space with other machines there. And now we craft firewood so we can start cooking as soon as possible. So I didn't want to use the little sticks for cooking because they don't give you a lot of energy and you can't get too many of them. We use firewood, and I'm putting all the 20 firewood that are crafted in here, so we have fuel for a long time now. And then basically we bake everything. So we start with the mushrooms. We have the apples as well, and when we can harvest our crops, we can't do that yet. That's the thing we want to start cooking right away, because that's going to give us a lot of energy. I don't remember what I'm doing here yet, but I think I'm going to mine iron, because another thing we want, because, well, smelting iron takes some time. It's not instant, so that's why we want to keep it going in the background. So that's why after cooking, we're doing cooking first because we need the energy. I'm going for iron straight away so that we can have it in the background smelting basically forever and saving time on that. So yeah, we're going to mine all of these iron blocks. And one nice trick that's good to do here is, as you're working on this thing, if you hold down the mining button, F in this case, it saves you energy when you reach the other node. Now that's not necessarily easy to do, you'll see here, because what it does is it actually drags you, it forces your character to go to like the nearest thing it can interact with. So you'll see, you might see it in a bit if I do it, but no. So here I'm holding down F, and at the other node it basically mines it instantly, and this one as well, it starts quicker than it would otherwise. Now here I'm trying to go to the right to avoid the tree stump. If you go back a second, you'll see, and here again I was holding down F, so my character is pulled to the tree stump. But I didn't want to waste energy on that, so that's why I had to let go of F, if that kind of makes sense. So basically it's good if you can hold down F, it saves you energy when you mine the next thing. However, it can also move your character to interacting with the thing you don't want to interact. So something like that. Okay, so here we teleported back, so as usual we got a log. We put the other thing cooking because energy is at a premium right now. And now we're going to build the furnace so we can start smelting. And keeping that in the background. Another thing to mention here is that it's currently Merchant Day. And you can actually, we don't need to visit him now because we can't complete his quest. But if you do visit him now, you can go and get a loan from him, a 5 silver loan, which you'll have to repay later for 10 silver. Now, I didn't actually do this in this playthrough, but because actually I thought the 5 silver that you get, the 10 silver you have to repay, I thought you would have to repay it sooner than what you actually do. So I didn't get it. However, again, if you want to optimize, maybe in your playthrough you can go get the loan. That early 5 silver can help you, I don't know, like plant more crops or something, or maybe buy some other supplies you might need. But I didn't get it in this playthrough. Again, this is one of the things that maybe you can do to have your playthrough even more optimized than this. Okay, so the furnace is ready. We're smelting the iron. That's gonna go on in the background for a long time, so we're happy there. Again, we constantly want to keep cooking because energy is at a premium, but unfortunately we don't have anything to cook yet. So safety save here, and I must have wasted some time, so I'm reloading here. Right, this must have been the problem. I went and I used the shovel and it broke, and I wasted time. So now I'm doing this right away. I'm fixing the shovel right away to not waste time and have to come back later. And I think next we're gonna go get the body. So Donkey has delivered us a new body, and we also got the exhume permission from the ghost. So we're going to basically fix 2 bodies for 2 burial certificates, which is 3 silver. And of course money is really good this early. And with that 3 silver, we're going to go and we're going to get even more crops to plant. Now on the way there, we are harvesting mushrooms because again, energy is at a premium and we want all of these things. So yeah, so we pick up this body. We autopsy it. Now we can unlock the soft spares technology, and there is no reason not to do that. It improves the quality of the bodies. We extract blood and fat like we always do, and those remove a red skull and they add a white skull, unless of course you make a surgical mistake, in which case they add a red skull or something. But of course, again, since this game is segmented, if I do that, I reload. So that's why I like to do a safety save before I go work on a body. So we just bury this as normal. And since we're here, yeah, I'm also doing the body exhume. So Yorick, the ghost, asks you to get rid of the body on the bottom right, but basically we're going to ignore his quest. Instead, we're going to use the exhume permission he gave us to take a body and just rebury it for an extra 1 silver 50. So Yorick instead wants us to get a body and throw it in the river. We're not going to do that. So what we have to do is we have to take the body out and we have to remove this grave and then create a new grave and bury it again. Here just quickly we're putting things in this chest. This is where we're going to hold the church related stuff and also the flesh and stuff for now. Now before reburying the body we took out, we're actually going to go and take and extract the blood and the fat from it, because we have it now anyway, and that's going to improve its quality even more. It's going to take it from a, from these 2 red skulls to 2 white skulls instead, and that's pretty good. Okay, so here I've been running out of energy. I didn't really want to use the honey. I would rather save those for when we cook much better stuff later and also to give to Dig, but because I am running out of energy, I was forced to use the honey here. And again, this is where in your game, you might have harvested some more mushrooms where I didn't, I ignored them, and you might have cooked them earlier, so by this point you would have had more energy food Or maybe harvested more flowers than I did, so again, you had more energy at this point. So now we're done here. I teleport back home. Okay, it seemed, I didn't remember what I was trying to do, but it seems that I was doing a little bit of gathering since I'm here. The next few things to do are to sell the 2 burial certificates we have now and get more seeds. But yeah, it seems, because I'm running out of energy or whatever, I just went for a mini gathering trip. Okay, so I think I'm thinking that's enough for that. So yeah, let's go sell the burial certificates. I think here I'm just coming to see if those berry bushes have berries again, but they didn't, unfortunately. So instead we're walking towards the farm. And I see the farmer isn't here, which isn't too good. It wastes a bit of time, but yeah, I forgot to check the time before I came here. He doesn't come out as soon as the sun is out. It takes him some time. So instead I harvest some berries, some flowers for energy while I wait. And again, before I teleport back home, after I buy the seeds, I pick up a log. So here I should have cut down the stump, but I kind of saw the farmer and I went for him because I was thinking, let me be fast about this. So basically, I buy as many seeds as I can at this point. Yeah, and then we're gonna go straight back and plant those as well. Alright, a quick safety save. And I think the next things to do are to plant the new seeds we have. And then I'm thinking we have some time before the church opens again. So, okay, great, we're also harvesting. So I'm gonna harvest that, cook it right away, and also of course plant the new seeds we have. And make a compost heap. So get that out of the way. Have our farming is one of the first priorities, farming and energy. Yeah, so at this point we make all of the carrots that we can, and we're also going to have a lot more later. And once those have cooked in a few seconds, we're not going to have energy problems anymore. So that's quite good. So yeah, next week take care of the rest of the farming, we plant and we create the compost heaps. And the things we want to do after that, I think, because we have some time left, I'm thinking I want to make some firewood to sell to a few key vendors to start raising their tier so they can sell us better stuff in the future, and also to make a little bit of money. So I think here I'm just trying to calculate how many seeds I've got, how many I can plant. Okay, and also getting energy, it seems. Alright, and harvesting some mushrooms on the way, because more energy is always better and we can cook those. Since I'm here, I'm just doing this rock as well. And again, you harvest rocks and wood as you go around. Okay, I'm supposed to build the compost heaps, but I don't remember in which order I do them. It's compost heaps plus firewood I want to make at this point. Okay, and I come back, and finally we have some carrots, and we no longer need to worry about energy. Because, for the last few minutes, maybe 15 minutes, energy has been a premium, and we've been running out and having to harvest flowers and things like that. So safety save here. So I think here I'm trying to collect more sticks so that I can make 3 compost heaps. Currently I would only have been able to make 1, I think, because I only had 19 sticks, I think. So I'm trying to get 30 so I can make 3 of them. I would like to make 4, but I'm going to make the 4th one later, not just yet, if I remember correctly. Okay, and I'm collecting wood here because we'll need some for the firewood first of all, and also for other things we've still got to build. So we need to build the carpenter's workbench and also the stone cutter, and make things to fix up the graveyard. Okay, so here I got the skill for the compost heaps, and I'm making 3 of them. And I'm going to have these running as well. Luckily, I managed to get 24 crop waste, which is exactly the right amount we need for 3 of them. Right here, I'm just looking at inventory, seeing do I have the correct amount of supplies for everything and things like that. Now the blood and the fat I should have left in the trunk next to the church, but I didn't. Okay, again another safety save just in case things go wrong. Alright, so here what I actually want to do next is start fixing up the church, for which I need the stone cutter and the carpenter's workbench. So that's why I'm collecting the materials from here. They give you simple parts and nails to fix those up. Now I needed 4 nails to build those 2 without needing to build the anvil. So what I actually did is I reloaded here 2 times it was in total, until I got the 4 nails. And next I safety save. Now I actually got some pretty good drops on that trip. I didn't need so many, because at the start we also got some barrels, right at the start of the game before we sold the sword, and you can find simple parts and nails in there as well. So you don't always need 4 nails like I did in this case, and I was happy to reload until I got those. And I did, so that's pretty good. Otherwise you would have to make the anvil, which isn't a big deal, but it's just a waste of parts, because next week rather, we can completely skip the wooden anvil and go straight for the normal anvil, which is nicer. You save on more parts that way. So you can do it one way or the other. Now what we're actually doing here is I actually didn't end up going for the church stuff right away. I thought there's actually plenty of time until Sunday or Bishop Day. So instead, let me craft firewood to sell to vendors. It would be nice to sell it to make some more money, and also to start leveling up the tiers of some vendors. So I switched gears, I actually reloaded on the safety save, and I thought, let me make firewood instead. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm trying to make 90, so I can sell 30 firewood each to the to the lighthouse keeper, the farmer, and the miller, which I think are pretty important vendors to try and level up. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. And again, to clarify some more on the anvil, it's perfectly fine to make it this week. And in fact, if you make it this week, you can also upgrade your tools to the iron tools right away. But I think it's a little bit nicer, you save on some iron if you don't make the wooden anvil this week and you make the normal anvil next week instead. So you can do either, it's fine. But yeah, here I think it's a better optimization to skip it for this week and go for the normal anvil next week, which we'll be able to do, and then we can make the iron tools. I think for right now I'm just thinking, what do I want in my inventory and stuff. But yeah, we'll just go sell the firewood. Well, at least the firewood is ready for selling. Okay, and here the Inquisitor Quest is ready. So we're also going to go talk to the Inquisitor. Okay, it seems before we do that, I'm going for a very quick gathering trip. So just some rock, maybe a few berry bushes if they have respawned, and also 1 or 2 honey. Now, this next honey probably wouldn't kill me, but just in case it did, I'm collecting the berry bushes before I get the honey. Now my pickaxe broke, but it's fine. I'll fix it up when we get back to the base, because I think I still need more stone. If I didn't need more stone, I think I do, then I wouldn't fix it up, and I would just we'll build the iron tools next week anyway, so I would just try and hold off until then. But if we need more stone, obviously let's fix it up, and that's not a problem. And now I've collected all the berry bushes, so I'm getting the honey last, just in case it kills me. Okay, and it didn't kill me, so that's good, because it means I can hopefully cut a tree and come back with a log. Okay, and we have lots of carrots, which is really good. We don't have to worry about energy anymore. Okay, safety save just in case. And I think here what I do straight away is go for the Inquisitors Quest. And then after that, oh sorry, yeah, I'll repair this as well because we will need more stone. So repair this, go for the Inquisitors Quest. And then after that we're also going to sell the firewood, and at that point we'll probably come back and start fixing up the materials for the church. Like, that means creating gravestones and creating grave fences and things like that. It doesn't matter what you pick here. Okay, so I think over here I might be thinking that I'm quite near the farm, so maybe I'll just walk there. Right, because we want to sell 30 firewood to the miller, the farmer, and the lighthouse keeper. Okay, it seems I'm taking a detour actually. Instead of that, and just going on a small gathering trip instead, since we have some respawned berry bushes and probably some honey. And I'm guessing we'll sell the firewood in a minute in that case. Okay, yeah, so this is going to kill me, but that's fine. I'm guessing what I'm doing is I'll just teleport and sell the firewood. Okay, just a safety save. Alright, so I guess I'm thinking that actually cancel what I said. Since it's night time, some of the vendors won't be open, potentially. So let's just make a start on fixing up the church instead. So I think that's the stone cutter. And I'm looking at how we want to make, well, I want to make 8 gravestones. So I need 1 more stone for that. And then we're also going to make the carpenter's bench and make 8 wooden fences for the graves. So that will give us a lot of red points, and it will also give us enough materials, let's say, to get the grave up to 25 quality, maybe even more if we get some more bodies. So that's actually pretty good. That, because the next quest we need for the bishop requires the graveyard to be at 30, and then we'll be very close to that. Okay, so carrying 16 items takes up quite a lot of inventory space. So here I think I'm just trying to manage inventory and deposit as many things as possible. But I do want 1 food stack because I will need energy as we're working on replacing the gravestones and things like that. Okay, so we've also got 10 sticks. So I'm thinking let's build another compost heap. Because it's nice to have 4. At least I think 4 is good. So yeah, get that out of the way. Now I'm just trying to build the carpenter. I can't even say that thing. Carpenter's bench. Workbench. There we go. Yeah, so just build that so we can make the wooden grave fences. All right, and we need some more. So for one of those, we need 1 plank, and we don't have enough fleets for the planks, so we just we craft some more fleets, then we craft the planks, and then we craft the wooden fences. And all of these red points will give us a huge boost at the start of next week, where we can get a lot of skills. And it's also how we can completely skip the wooden anvil and start making the iron tools right away. Okay, so here I can't pick those up because I'm running out of inventory space, but that's not a problem. Yeah, so I think I literally just drop everything except the teleport stone and the food. Now, it would be nice to have the blood and the fat to take to the trunk at the church, but it doesn't matter in this case. Okay, I always want the cooking running, so that's why I came to cook something. And we had fatigue, so I'm just making the guy sleep for a few seconds so that the fatigue goes. Actually, he goes to bed and then the fatigue goes straight away. So that's why we did that. Okay, and I think now it's becoming daytime. So now might be a good time to start selling the wood. And we don't need to talk to the astrologer this week, but we might as well since we're here. Rather, it's nice to talk. It would be nice to have completed this quest straight away. It unlocks Snake's quest for us, but we've been burying all the bodies we got so far, so we can't complete it. This might be something to think about if we want to optimize the run further. The exact order of the quests and on what week we do what quest and things like that. I personally thought it was okay for this week. And yeah, if it can be improved further, that's fine. But yeah, for this run, we're going to do his quest next week. Okay, by this time I'm hoping the lighthouse keeper is out, so I can sell him the firewood. And I'm just, mining and crafting in the meantime. But not crafting, just gathering things. Okay, and I see the lighthouse keeper on the top right, so I go there to give him some firewood, 30 firewood. It gives us a tiny bit of money, and it raises his tier 2 just a little bit. So this is something that's probably optional to do this week. But, at 90 firewood, I think it was 30 copper each, right? It's good money, let's just say that. Yes, okay. We also needed to buy oil to prepare for Donkey for next week, because when we unlock the church, when we complete that quest for the church, Donkey won't deliver bodies to us anymore. He's going to ask for some items. So the oil is one of them, and we need to have it ready. So since I'm here next to the lighthouse, I bought it now. So even if we didn't sell firewood this week, we would still need to have come to the lighthouse, well, specifically to dig, to buy that oil. We also sell 30 firewood to the miller, because he has... he's gonna sell us hops and grapes later or something like that, which is good for brewing and things like that. So that's why I want to try and level him up a little bit if I can. And then the farmer. Yeah, I just think it's good to level him up as well. And I think since I'm here, I'm buying some Beet Seeds to plant them, which will help us make progress towards the Merchant's Quest later. Because for the Merchant's Quests, we need to give him 12 carrots, 12 beets, and 12 cabbages. Now we don't need to plant the cabbages because we can actually loot them near the merchant. There is a place in the village where you can harvest cabbages from, even though they're not your land, and you should be able to get enough for that. So that's why we're getting the beets, we're getting the carrots, but we're not going to plant the cabbages ourselves. Okay, and I'm done selling now. So at this point, I think I'm thinking, let me just finish making the church. Again, I'm doing inventory management here because I want to get all the gravestones and all the fences in one go, ideally. Yeah, so I think I'm basically dropping everything except one food stack and the teleport stone. Okay, it seems like those fit, so that's fine. Yeah, so for that reason I'm also taking one of the body parts, I think. And actually I don't remember if I needed the peat as well. Okay, I guess not. Okay, and actually I have 4 stone in my inventory. I must be thinking that I need 10 for the flower beds. And I don't remember if I've got it in the trunk already or anything, so yeah, that's why I was collecting some. Now a body came and I'm just thinking, what's the order that I should do things for here? I'm thinking I should probably go do the body so it doesn't decompose more. So yeah, I'm going home. I'm doing a safety save in case, you know, I make a surgical mistake on the body or something like that. And I think I might have actually made the surgical mistake. So here I am now, reloaded, taking the body and, you know, handling this first. Okay, so my inventory is full, so I can't actually get the blood and the fat, but that doesn't matter because we can always come back for it later. Things in this game don't seem to disappear if you leave them like outside in the world. I think they might disappear in the dungeon or whatever, but like keeping the blood and the fat there is fine. Okay, I can't even pick up the burial certificate because the inventory is full, but again, that's not a problem. So here we've started the process of fixing all of these things because we get some free stone fixing kits and wood fixing kits or whatever they're called. So I'm just fixing these graveyards here. Alright, and we also need to get rid of these things. So I've started the process of that. Here I was holding F the entire time, and it saves you energy. Especially if you travel a long way to hit the next target, then it saves you a lot of energy. Or at least it does it even faster. I know it saves some energy, I don't know the exact details. Now the shovel broke, but it doesn't matter. We'll still be able to fix the church up to much more than 5 that it needs to be. And at this point, I don't think I'm gonna need the shovel for anything else. So I'm gonna keep it broken until next week when we build the iron tools. Yeah, instead of wasting the whetstone on the bad shovel. So now we brought a lot of gravestones and grave fences with us. So I'm going to basically every grave and replacing them. Except like that previous one, which already had a bit of quality, even though it's partially broken. I didn't replace that one because there would be no point to. The grave wouldn't get more quality. Okay, I think I'm also realizing here that I've got a wooden thing that, like a kit to fix one more wooden thing, so that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, for the next minute, I'm just basically replacing the gravestones and the grave fences, trying to get the quality of the graveyard up. And it's already above 5. It's gonna end up to 23 or something like that. Okay, the bishop is on his way. Now I'm just thinking for that body on the bottom left, it's such bad quality. Do I really want to put the gravestone and the grave fence there? Because we're going to get more bodies. So maybe it's worth saving them for the other bodies. But I think in the end I pretty much put these things on almost everywhere. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's got 0.4 already, but I think I end up replacing it in the end anyway. Same with this wooden grave fence. Just because I want more graveyard quality now. Not that you need it, but I thought let's make it as high as we can. Now it looks like I actually messed that previous one up. I put in the same wooden fence that was broken, so it doesn't seem to actually have increased the graveyard quality. But that's fine, I guess I'm putting this one here. Okay, so we end up with a graveyard quality of 23. Now if we, next week, if we remove that shrub there on the top where our shovel broke, so we couldn't remove it this week. But if we do that, then the graveyard quality would be 24. And that's pretty good. Next week we should easily be able to get it to 30 if we get a few more bodies. Okay, so now at this point, we're finished with the charts for this week. Here I'm just dropping some inventory that belongs here. Now I think I'm teleporting home to save some time. I could have gone back to the church trunk to get some stuff, but I'll just do it another time. So next, the second we sleep, which means the second we safety save as well, the refugee camp cutscene is going to start. And for those guys, we need food. So what I'm doing here is I think I'm managing some inventory in general, but what I want to do is get all the food that I can so that I can give to them. And we also need water. So yeah, food and water is what we're gathering right now. Okay, it seems I'm also handling this as well, because farming is really important in my opinion. So we're going to harvest them, probably start cooking them if nothing else is cooking, and also of course plant the next ones. Okay, I can't do the compost heap because of my shovel. We'll do this at the start of the next week instead, when we fix the tools. Well, when we upgrade the tools rather. Okay, now I've got plenty of carrots, so I'm thinking let me start out by planting the beets so that I can give them to the merchant next week. Okay, so we're collecting water for the refugee camp. And to actually get the water, you need to use the bucket. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah, so now we looted 40 water from that. And then we're cooking. And carrots are probably the best thing to cook because, well, especially we have so many of them and they give you quite a good amount of energy. But we need to keep some carrots because now that we have the church, the donkey is going to be requesting carrots from us. So we need to keep some for the donkey. And we also need to keep some to give to the merchant. Now, by the time merchant day comes, we'll probably have enough carrots already. So maybe we didn't need to do this. Maybe we could just, well, maybe we could have cooked more carrots. But just in case, we kept a few. Again, maybe this is another thing that you could optimize a tiny bit. Also, in terms of bodies, we did pretty good this week. How many bodies did we get? How many was it? 2, right? We have 2 so far. Maybe 3? I think it might be 3 bodies so far actually, and you'll see in a minute. We actually get another one today when we sleep. So that's pretty good. So again, in your playthrough, depending on how lucky you get or how often you want to restart or safety save until you get a body, you might get less. I don't know if you can get more than 4, but who knows, maybe you can get more as well. Okay, so this is the refugee scene. So the bell you heard was another body from the donkey, so that's pretty lucky.
Oh. Waddle. Besar. Irkanya. Anjester. Uba. Down. Uba. Asa. Uba. Asa. Estuur. Down. Irkani. Anjusa. Uba. Down. Anju. Uba. Anjuba. Down. Anju. Down.
Alright, so now we're going to deposit food and water. And here I paused to take a small break. I cut the break out, of course, to try and calculate how much energy I need to give these guys and for how many days it's going to last. So they basically need 30 energy per refugee per day. There are 3 refugees now, so that's 90 energy per day. So I think I deposited enough food there for about 5 or 6 days or something like that. Now, I'm thinking here, I want to hurry up and get back to the donkey, but there are 2 quick honey trees that I can get over here, so I'm doing that first. There is actually also a third one a bit to the west, but I don't get that. Instead, I teleport back home to try and get to the donkey right away. I don't know if I need to do this, but basically I don't want the day to pass without me having taken care of the body in case it... Oh, okay, yeah, the video finished there. Yeah, in case the body... Well, the donkey doesn't come again the next day because he's already deposited a body today or something like that. So yeah, that's why I slept there. And that's technically the start of next week, so you won't see it in this video, but what I'm going to do next, I haven't actually done it yet, is go and take care of that body. So I'm thinking for next week, we can prioritize the refugee camp because after a few days, that gives you 50 silver, which is very helpful. It helps you a lot with some quests. So that's why we want to make sure those guys have energy and we're building the things they need when we need them to. I'm thinking also we want to continue with farming and cooking so that we always have energy for ourselves, so we never need to sleep and therefore we save on time. I'm also thinking to unlock fishing as one of the good ways that we can make income early. And finally, we're going to do a few quests like the Astrologer's Quest, the Merchant's Quest. We'll see what we can get done with the graveyard as much as we can as well. We'll probably have to unlock cremation because we need a skull for the astrologer so we don't waste the bodies. Be taking confessionals for faith and things like that. And then other than that, we're going to get something to beeline, maybe something like alchemy or maybe winemaking or whatever it is. And in general, we'll improve our industry as we go. Yeah, so something like that. Again, this playthrough, maybe you can find ways to optimize it better, that's fine. It's just my personal attempt at doing a somewhat optimal playthrough. And yeah, that's all. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like. If you have any comments, any things that can be improved, any things that you think I did wrong, what you would do differently, then please feel free to leave a comment. I'm sure we would all like to see any improvements to this, and leave a comment about anything else you liked as well. And if you like this video and you want to see more of these kinds of videos, then please subscribe. Alright, thanks very much and see you next time.